Nobody ever said technology was cheap, but there's a good chance it's cheaper than what you've been paying for it. TechHive.com has come out with this list of the 7 most overpriced things in tech. With this, they've listed prices that consumers typically pay, along with cost breakdown prices, with materials and labor put into account. Get ready to get mad!
You getting ripped off, son?
Okay, the first thing on this list, by the way, I will link you to TechHive.com's list in the description if you want to read the full thing in its entirety. The first thing we have is text messages. The average cost per text message is about 20 cents, up from about 10 cents some time ago, a few years ago, right?
I remember when it was 5 cents each.
Well, some people buy plans where it's cheaper, right, depending on how much you text. And because the carrier has to maintain the signaling channel, their signaling channels on towers anyway, it doesn't really cost that much to send a text message through it. So the estimated price they have here for a text message is virtually nothing.
Yeah, then the network that they use to transmit text messages also has another use that is important for the phone call.
Yeah.
So that already exists.
But when it's not being used for the phone call, it has to be maintained.
Yeah, text messages are an afterthought.
They're just gonna, they just go on it.
They cost nothing.
Yep.
They cost nothing to maintain or send.
So it's pretty much all profit.
Yep, 100%. There are free alternatives.
Yeah.
There are apps on smartphones that let you text
Yeah, but then you have to get
ways.
other people to get the app too, and they don't have it, and you have to go download it now. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
I'm just saying, unlike a lot of things on this
yeah.
list, there's something you can do about this one.
Yay! The next thing we have on this list is computer and audio video cables. The average cost for a name brand 8-foot HDMI cable is about 45 bucks. But in terms of materials, the estimate they have here is a $3 cost.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no such thing as quality cables.
Well, they say this is the fastest one. It's got hyper speed. It's the best connection. THX. But in terms of technology, it either works or it doesn't work. You don't need to have the super fast one, the best premium HDMI cable, really.
It's ones and
but
zeros,
it's been marketed
it's
that
ons
way.
and off.
So
yeah, you're paying for name brand on that.
So sales have gone down for Monster, which is the...
Oh, they pretty much had to.
Yeah, because I think people have realized, I don't really need a premium HDMI cable.
Yeah, when someone's trying to sell you a $100 cable and you could find it for less than $1 on Amazon, that's not the greatest marketing strategy.
You don't need it, really. Logistically, you don't. The next thing on the list is smartphones. People underestimate how much smartphones cost because of the carrier discounts, the deep carrier discounts when you maybe get on a contract. So you could pay about, what, $200 for an iPhone?
With 2 years of service.
With 2 years of service, which people don't really think about. But it would be like $550 on its own.
For
free.
an unlocked iPhone, yep.
Yes, so that is the average cost of a 16 gigabyte iPhone 5 unlocked, but the average cost to produce it is $200.
I will actually defend this one.
Okay.
Because I don't think the cost of the components equals the value of the item.
Are you counting assembly?
No, you're saying that the cost to make an iPhone is $200, and they charge more than that. And I think they should, because there is a lot more than that to the phone. And now there are cheaper smartphones out there that you can get. There are options. This isn't a monopoly. They're not the only game in town. It's not like AT&T is your only provider and they can charge whatever the hell they want. There's plenty of phones out there if the iPhone's not for you, cheaper ones.
But if you upgrade to the 35 gigabyte iPhone, it would only cost Apple about $10 more in components to upgrade it, but it costs about $100 more for us to buy. My
phone is something that I use all day, every day. It's got thousands of uses to me.
Right.
For the 2-3 years that I've had it, I think I've gotten $500 worth out of it, if not way more than that.
I don't really understand this argument. Because you like it a lot, because you use it a lot, it's worth more?
Yeah, because, well, you're saying because this gold connector and this conductor and this thing in there only costs $200, that it should be just a little bit more than $200.
Yeah.
But a phone is an important tool that you use for work and play and life.
Well, I think you're imbuing it with the value, right?
Yeah, I am.
I don't know if
I'm saying it's worth the price.
And
if it wasn't, I wouldn't have bought it.
These phones are getting subsidized too, which is also not mentioned.
Well, lots of things on this list are getting subsidized.
Yeah. And moving on to the next item on our list, a less controversial item.
Oh, you'll be surprised.
Whoa. Printer ink. Average cost $80 per ounce, making it more expensive than most champagne, gasoline, human blood. And the average cost to produce is about $10 per ounce.
Yeah, there is a graphic that I will give you that I think is very telling, and it shows all the costs of these liquids. And like way at the bottom is crude oil, and like up at the top is like really expensive perfumes and printer ink at like $5,500 a liter.
Well, the vendors say that they need them to be this expensive.
Vendors are
For
full of
one,
shit.
HP says it spends about $1 billion a year on ink research. What is that? Are they trying to figure out why they use cyan and magenta instead of red and blue? I don't know. But
well, the research that they've done so far has showed they can make more money if they put less ink in the cartridges. I know, right?
Well, if you do the injectable ink services, it is about $10 per ounce.
But HP says you won't get reliable printing with fill it yourself ink cartridges.
But people who use those cartridges say otherwise. So I would say at least try it. What have you got to lose? Not that much. Our next item is wireless service. The average cost to consumers right now is about, this list says $100 per month for Verizon's unlimited talk 10 gigabyte data plan, and the average cost to provide is only $37.
Yeah, that's something that's hard to justify, and in fact, they don't justify their costs. When you sign up for a new plan, they don't build you a new tower.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Now,
I mean, they are expensive, but
yes, they are expensive
not
towers
nearly that expensive.
and difficult to maintain a network and keep it running. And I would be happy to pay whatever they asked if it fucking worked like they said it would. Don't drop my calls. Don't throttle my data. I don't want to have to fucking buffer a YouTube video for an hour. Just give me my internet.
You mean your data?
My data, yes. The plan that I paid for. Give me the plan that I pay for.
Okay. That is fair. That is very fair, sir. You seem mad. There's a vein popping out on your neck. Verizon has spent about $2 billion working on 4G LTE, but that doesn't really compare to the $115 billion revenues they made in 2012 alone. So yes, while it is expensive to maintain these things and build things, it's not nearly anywhere close to how much revenue they're actually making. So it could stand to be a little lower.
Plus, they too got government subsidies during the bailout to make that network.
They did pretty well during the 2008 economic stimulus packages.
They did extremely well.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Assholes.
I'm mad too, but I'm keeping it in check for once. The next thing on our list, number 6, is Microsoft Office Professional 2013. The average cost is about $400 for the Windows 8 Professional upgrade. Average cost to develop the software, about $136.
This one makes me laugh because I used to sell Microsoft Office.
You did?
I used to work at a computer store.
I thought you worked at an Apple store.
Yes, but they have Microsoft Office for the Apple.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Even though Apple makes software that does exactly the same thing called iWork,
nobody wants iWork.
Nobody wants it. It only costs $50 for what is essentially Microsoft Office, but people are willing to spend $200 for Microsoft Office because it's Microsoft Office.
It's been a big cash cow for Microsoft.
It's just familiarity at this point. It's what they've always used and will continue to use, even though there are plenty of cheap and free alternatives.
Well, Microsoft Office pulled in $24 billion of the company's $74 billion in revenue last year. That is a shit ton.
Yeah, that's not a company that just makes software.
No.
This is Microsoft.
They make a lot of stuff.
They make a lot of stuff.
And you see,
Office is...
it does cost money to program. It does. But they're not changing that much year after year. It's all built on the previous software from the year before. So it's great for them. Maybe not worth it to upgrade all the time for us. And I don't know, maybe some people pirate things from that software bundle. I don't know.
You could, I guess.
They could.
If you knew how. Maybe.
It's a mystery. Last thing on our list is cloud storage. Average cost is about $120 a gigabyte per year. That's under the Carbonite Pro Business Premier. Average cost to provide about 10 cents per gigabyte. And they're moving that model off of, well, you could pay for this cloud service for this much, but if you were to just buy, well, The highest tier storage system on Carbonite costs $600 a year for 500 gigabytes of space. So you could buy that, or you could buy a really solid 2 terabyte personal server for yourself.
This one is the cost of convenience. It's the cost of, do it for me, I don't want to worry about it, I don't want a thing sitting on my desk that I could forget to use or that could burn up in a fire, I just don't want to think about this anymore, here's my money.
What if I get 2 and I put 1 in like a safe deposit box or something? It would still be cheaper.
Still cheaper and smarter than this, but you'd have to do something. And for a lot of people, something is more than nothing, which is unacceptable.
But it's a great business model for them, considering how cheap data is. So good on you, Carbonite.
You're also paying for an element of security.
Yeah.
Like, I'm giving you my data and I'm trusting you. And I'm trusting you not to lose it or have it destroyed, because when I want it, you better fucking have it.
Or what?
Oh, I don't know, lawsuits. There's got to be something in the fine print about that.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like they would have a contract.
If I lose my drive, if my drive burns in a fire, there's no one to blame.
There's no one liable but you.
But myself.
Interesting.
I need somebody else on the hook for this.
It's the American way, Tim. You're doing it.
Kinda.
I would personally rather have my own little system, because I can't afford $600 a year on storage, data storage.
Is there anything that you guys think should be on this list that isn't?
What, anything that's ludicrously expensive for us to buy, but way, way, way cheaper to produce?
Has no reason to be, yeah.
I'm sure there is, and I'd love to hear it.
Let us know.